Hello guys, welcome to another battle report. This is a battle that I've from a tournament in Berlin. It was CaptainCon. It was one of the games in a team tournament. So unfortunately it will be basing on the pictures because I had a set of camera and equipment in one room, and while I was playing on another tournament, so I wasn't very often on stream. So I made pictures, not from all battles, but a few of them, so I can make a battle report based on those pictures. And this battle was very interesting one. First, from how it ran, and secondly because the matchup is probably very interesting for most of you because Zaal2 is very popular in the meta right now. So you probably think how this list would perform versus Zaal2, or generally versus non-shooting score. I'm unsure how it would perform versus shooting kind of skewy score like Rashid in wins, but this list is not so bad in the shooting, but I have some ideas that to make it better, a bit better versus shooting, that I will tell you at the end. Okay, enough looking at the deployment, let's move on to the next picture. So this is after my turn 1. I did spread out, I pushed my Archons far forward. I want them in first line because they are pretty hard to deal with for melee army, and I also want them to be able to do something next round. I was playing them before pretty far back or a few inches behind my infantry, and then I noticed they are very survivable, and anything that needs to kill them is then dying to my infantry. So they are either trading very well or even surviving in front, and then my opponent is usually in trouble. So my tactics with them is push them forward. If it's shooting army, push them forward in the rubble or concealment. Then there are very high defense, difficult to deal with, and surrounded by shield guards, so there is that as well. So rest of my army is spread out pretty evenly. Both units of Precursors on the flanks, Alexia in the middle, Ragman in the middle ready to support or give buffs to either flank. My both jacks in front, they are the slowest things in this army, so they need to be up front to do something later on. And the one thing that I want to keep a bit back is Thrall. He's I think a key piece to this army. He's the source of Pathfinder, he's a damage buff, so you don't want to lose him to some concentrated fire. He isn't easy to kill in this list, especially at range, because of the shield guards and the distance he can keep, and he's also pretty tough himself. But we don't want to tempt the fate and lose him too early. Late game he can charge himself or do some work himself, but it's at the beginning stage it's better to keep him back. So this is my turn 2. Although my opponent chose to start, Zaal is not the fastest caster, so even though he was first, I had the better position on the board, and right now I'm using it because of my turn 2. He needed to jam the scenario so I don't start scoring, and this gave me the alpha. And of course he fitted, so the alpha will not be incredible. I will not be able to kill the stages but I will be able to kill quite a few infantry guys. So what my plan is to clear enough infantry to charge my Archons versus his stages and blind them. I can boost with Connie, and of course I will feed as well. You see my feed token here. so next turn he will be having issues breaking my armor at some point. So let's start from the right flank. So on the right flank I layer my guys in 2 lines, so to say, or even 3 lines, just as I marked on the picture. It is important because all of my guys have magic weapon, so his infantry will not be able to go through my first line easily if they survive the vengeance attacks, and I hope they should, at least some of them. So I will not lose everything, and I will have still infantry for the next wave. Unfortunately, I don't benefit. I calculated not perfectly. I give them +2 bonus from Throne, so they are POW 14 with Connie's feet and Fortune. They should hit most of it and should break armor more often than not, but Connie doesn't have all of them in feet. So unfortunately on that flank I don't do too much work on those immortals, but they do enough to get next step of my plan. So the model is already removed, but there is Hakar in front, and I want to remove Hakar so I can get my Archon into Supreme Guardian. I will probably, or this is highly probable, that I will get defensive strike from the Supreme Guardian and from the solo in front of him. So with those 2 defensive strikes I might get killed, and I don't want that. So I want to limit his ability to hit me, so I don't want him to have a +1 to melee. So with his mat 7 he will need a 9 to hit me. So I managed to do plan minimum and clear the way to get a way for my Archon to get through to his immortals. I move up Ragman, he activates his death field. Then I move my Warjack Toro, he kills Hakar, and then my Archon charges in and blinds not only the Supreme Guardian but also the Sorrow next to him. So 2 big melee pieces of his list are now blind, and Archon in between them, so they will have a huge difficulty hitting anything. So middle of my army just shuffles around. Alexia gets into position to do something next round maybe, and left flank charges in to remove immortals, enough immortals so my Archon can charge into another Supreme Guardian. I also layer them in 2 layers, so I have enough models for later turns. The ones that can get in front and kill some immortals, they do so. This time I use my mini feat and I do much more work, but unfortunately there is a 1 pesky or 2 pesky immortals that are still in the way, so I cannot get to the Supreme Guardian and try to blind him. So I just get my Archon in front, and I'm hoping that the Supreme Guardian will not kill him, or even if he kills him, this will mean he is off position and I can get to him next round. So all in all, this round did not run perfectly. On the right flank I did a bit too little killing the immortals. On the left flank it was well with the immortals, but unfortunately I didn't blind the Supreme Guardian. But I think all in all it went pretty okay. So unfortunately I'm not used to doing pictures during the games, I rather do videos. So I forgot to take a picture after my opponent's round, so sorry for that. But what happened is on the left flank my Archon died, and also my Precursors that were in front died. But this was to be suspected. His Void Archon did pretty well work, his Immortals did some work, and I think that Supreme Guardian just went in and killed the Precursors that were in front. So that flank was killed, but I had enough Precursors in the back and enough models to just Vengeance forward and still do something. In the middle, the Supreme Guardian did nothing, virtually nothing, because my Archon was in front of him. He couldn't blind, he couldn't hit anything, so he was just there staying. Same for the solo. His shooting support didn't do much, so the center was okay. You see my Warjacks are still standing, so it looks pretty good. On the right flank, his Immortals killed few of my Precursors, but definitely not enough. Some of them were still in the Archon's aura, so that did some trouble to them. So all in all, I think he was a bit disappointed with his round, how it went, and I was pretty happy. So now I will tell you how my round went, and you see the effect after the round and actually after the battle, because my opponent gave up after that. So my left flank Vengeance, or everything Vengeance, because I had losses all over the board in all 3 units, so all 3 units Vengeance forward, do some damage. And then important thing is Alexia creates a lot of trials because I have a lot of losses. She creates them inside both of Supreme Guardian's melee range, which means I can now safely move forward with them and block their line of sight to the next models charging in. And the left Supreme Guardian, you can see the line on the left of remaining undead, and on the right side the undead that are blocking line of sight to Alexia. So what happened, I created them. Alexia then charged forward with +2 strength from Throne, and she almost alone killed the Supreme Guardian, I think with a little help of Toro. And on the left flank, the same happened. The undead blocked the line of sight to Supreme Guardian. I charged in my Precursor Knights. I moved in my heavy, who was also in melee range of Supreme Guardian, and to finish that Supreme Guardian off, I charged in my caster. She was Weapon Master because of flank Morrowan, so with ease I killed both Supreme Guardians. I also managed to clear the left flank of Immortals completely, and I think I didn't finish the right flank charges of my Precursors because my opponent surrendered right there and then. But I think it would be pretty good with my Archon on the right flank still there, and the whole Precursor unit, or most of the Precursor units, still available for charges. So I don't know if you noticed that this Skorne list is pretty similar in what it does to what Zaal2's Immortals does. It has Vengeance on a melee unit. The melee unit, when they shield war, they are 13-18. Immortals with their buffs, they are 13-17. They also have Vengeance. Connie gives them threat of insane 15 with Vengeance. So this is so much better than what Immortals have, because they struggle with their threats and they cap out at 13 inches. So defeat of Connie is a bit worse because she doesn't buff anything except infantry and then only living infantry, and it happens just after the 5th guy you get +5, but still it stops a bit enemy in just going through your infantry easily. At some point they will start struggling breaking armor, and this means you will lose only part of your army. And you've got 2 huge units, 12, 15 guys with priests. So you can imagine this gives you enough power to last for a few rounds. Also, you have ability to boost on your infantry with the focus that Connie has, same as Zaal2. You gather souls from your models, same as Zaal2 does. So a lot of similarities in here, and Zaal2's list is performing well in the meta, so automatically I would think this list should too. What you also have some availability to great damage buffs, because your precursors have a benefit of additional die. They have ability to get +2 from turn very easily, so they are then power 14, and also you have Ragman to bump up your power. What I think this list is lacking also versus mid shooting, if the enemy has some medium damage shooting that can break through armor 18 in your shield wall, he'll just bleed you out pretty fast, and you really will have if you try to charge them and kill their front ranks, you will lose shield wall and you will die even faster. So I was thinking of dropping one of the warjacks and adding some Cygnar lights, for example, that can pump out some damage regularly, like 2 chargers that could reach his shooting elements. It would be not useful versus Zaal2 in particular, but I had stumbled upon lists like Skorne Zaal2 with some static shooting. If I remove that shooting from the list, it would be much easier for precursors to deal with the rest of the list. So these are my thoughts for today. Let me know what you think about Connie and Flames in the Darkness, and thanks for watching. So if you like the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more battle reports that will be coming in. And thanks for watching, and see you soon.